On the Mortal Kombat X side of things, there was a huge hint that dropped earlier today that Spawn could potentially be a guest character in Mortal Kombat X. And here's my exact reaction.
What year is it?
From something that sounds like it could be a fever dream of the mid-90s, Todd McFarlane had an interview with GamerFit Nation. You can check out the link to the full video in the description below, where he gave a hint that Mortal Kombat X could potentially have Spawn as a playable guest character.
So you mentioned that you have a short deal as far as when I mentioned Mortal Kombat.
That means that they have access to be able to use the character in a couple of their games if they want to. Gave them a window of time, and so I'll just leave it to them to be able to do what it is that they want.
The interesting thing is that there was always talks of Spawn making an appearance in Injustice because it is a comic book game. However, he did drop that note that there was this other deal on the table, most likely with Warner Brothers or NetherRealm, for the Spawn character, and how Todd doesn't really want to make a new Spawn movie immediately or a new Spawn game because he wants to get people to kind of like understand the character, because Spawn's back from the 90s and the early 2000s. Not a lot of people know who Spawn is. Granted, if you're on my channel, there's a good chance you might know who Spawn is, mostly because a lot of you guys seem to be around my age. But Spawn also made an appearance as a guest character in a previous fighting game, no other than Soul Calibur 2. Back in the early 2000s, Spawn was still pretty big. There was movies, there was comics, and everything was still going and still very popular. And at that time, between all the different versions of the game, Spawn showed up on the Xbox version, PlayStation 2 got Heihachi, and the GameCube got the infamous Link from the Legend of Zelda series. Spawn was pretty damn awesome in that game. Now, the other thing that I'm kind of curious about is Todd might be mixing things up in this situation. This is by no means a confirmation that Spawn is going to make an appearance in MKX, but it is a very big clue, and it's something that I would personally love. But before I talk about that, this could be a miscommunication in some way, because Todd McFarlane might be referring to the recent fighting game deal that happened, because Soul Calibur 2 HD was released about a year ago now, and that game came out and had Spawn in it for all versions it came out on, which was the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. So the interesting thing is that those versions both got Heihachi and they got Spawn, but Link was nowhere to be found because there was no Wii U version, there was no GameCube re-release of the game at all, so we only got the versions with the two characters that came from the Xbox and the PlayStation versions. He could be referring to that, although it seems less and less likely because the multiple times that Todd is talking about Spawn coming back in some form. Injustice is brought up. The interview keeps saying that, you know, Injustice 2 would be an amazing way to bring Spawn in, and he's actually saying no, Injustice 2 is not going to be it, that there's something else that they were working out with a short deal in terms of Spawn actually making an appearance, potentially with the same crew, which is NetherRealm Games. A lot of people are already confirming that Spawn is in there. I'm not going to say this is confirmation right now. I can't tell you guys that because there is no actual confirmation, but if this thing were sitting on the table right now, I'd say there's about a 60% chance that Spawn can make an appearance in MKX. This is amazing because Spawn was one of the coolest, sickest characters from the 90s. He made an appearance in several games, a Capcom third-person arena-style shooter, as well as a PlayStation game called Spawn Armageddon. I believe this also came out on GameCube and Xbox. So there has been quite a few Spawn games out there, and being that Spawn has already made an appearance in a fighting game is a really, really, really good chance of this. I'm kind of curious, are they gonna render his cloak? Spawn's biggest issue with the animation, everything about the character, is that his cloak is a nightmare. And a lot of the times you see Spawn in a game or otherwise, he usually does not have his cloak because they save that for the comics, so they don't have to animate this horrible, living, like, breathing thing that's kind of on his body. I severely hope that they would not just put Spawn without cloak, because that's like 90% the character's personality is in the cloak. But either way, I think he's perfect for Mortal Kombat X. You constantly see Al Simmons throughout the comics losing limbs, getting his arm chopped off, getting his like body cut in half and stuff like that. You see his gooey green core and center and guts everywhere, so it fits perfectly within the Mortal Kombat universe. And I'm pretty sure Ed Boon might have a small attachment to Spawn as a character because he was around there at the same time, back when the old MKs were being made. He just fits really well into the universe, so I really, really, really would love this to be a possibility. But what do you guys think in the comments below? Please check out the full interview with Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, about the future of the character and what's going on, and he also has a lot more information within that interview, so go ahead and give the GamerFit guys a view on that video. As always, dudes, thank you very much for watching. Leave me your feedback below of what you think about Spawn being potentially in Mortal Kombat X. My name is Maximilian, and I'll see you guys next time.